There are athletes, and then there are true game changers, the kind who make you stop, rethink, and watch in disbelief. Right now, in women's basketball, one name rises above the rest: Caitlin Clark. From sold-out arenas to social media buzz, from viral highlights to NBA legends picking up their phones just to acknowledge her greatness, Clark isn't simply putting up points, she's transforming the game. She's rewriting expectations, breaking records, and forcing the league to confront what once seemed impossible. And when Shaquille O'Neal himself called her the truth on a Rivals podcast, it became clear that this wasn't just hype, it was history unfolding. The real question isn't whether she's good, it's how far she can push the game before it bends to her influence. Start with basketball because everything else, the cultural impact, the attention, the debates, stems from one undeniable fact: Caitlin Clark is exceptionally talented. Not just impressive for a rookie, but genuinely elite. She's making plays that cause fans to stop mid-scroll and replay clips multiple times, stunned by her range, vision, and fearless confidence. Her shooting alone is extraordinary. She confidently pulls up from 28 feet as if she's standing at the free throw line, draining logo threes, deep step-backs, and contested shots off the dribble. During her rookie WNBA season, she knocked down 122 three-pointers, the most by any rookie in league history and the second highest total in a single season overall. She finished just 6 threes short of Sabrina Ionescu's all-time record, as a rookie, highlighting both her volume and remarkable shot difficulty. In a game against the Washington Mystics, she delivered a performance that perfectly captured her impact, hitting 7 three-pointers and scoring 30 points in front of more than 20,000 fans at Capital One Arena, a crowd rarely seen for women's basketball in nearly 2 decades. Her average shot distance that night stretched to 24 feet, the longest recorded by any player in the league that season. Yet what truly separates Clark isn't just her shooting, it's her playmaking. She set the WNBA single-season assist record with 337 assists, not merely a rookie mark but an all-time league record. Averaging 8.4 assists per game, she led the league and posted one of the highest season averages in WNBA history. She also broke the single-game assist record with 19 against the Dallas Wings, creating or contributing to 66 points and surpassing Diana Taurasi's record for points produced in a game. It was a performance defined by vision, precision, and decision-making that few players ever achieve. Clark also became the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double, and she did it twice. Her first came against the New York Liberty, where she recorded 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 13 assists, showcasing her all-around dominance against one of the league's strongest teams. Her basketball IQ ties everything together. Watch her closely and you'll notice the subtle brilliance, the ball fakes that freeze defenders, the early reads against double teams, and the pace changes in pick-and-roll situations that manipulate defenses into mistakes. Fans recognized it immediately, the basketball world took notice, and eventually even legends had to acknowledge it. When Shaquille O'Neal called Caitlin Clark the truth, it marked a turning point, a moment when her impact moved beyond highlights and into undeniable greatness. Sitting on Angel Reese's Unapologetically Angel podcast, Reese was the host, and the setting seemed naturally in her favor. She and Shaquille O'Neal share a deep connection as fellow LSU alumni, with Shaq serving as both a mentor and a major supporter of her career, even helping bring her to Reebok. If anyone was expected to stand firmly in Reese's corner, it was Shaq. But then he asked a question that instantly shifted the energy of the conversation. Why do people love Caitlin Clark? Reese kept her answer simple, pointing to Clark's deep range and logo threes as the main reason fans were drawn to her game. According to Reese, Clark's shooting ability forced defenders to pick her up before she even crossed half court. However, Shaq wasn't satisfied with that explanation. He leaned in and expanded the conversation, comparing Clark to Stephen Curry, not as a casual remark, but as a serious basketball comparison. He explained how Curry didn't fit the traditional mold of a superstar like LeBron James physically, yet changed the game by doing things no one had ever seen before. Shaq then made the connection clear, saying Clark was having the same kind of impact, performing at a level that felt entirely new to the sport. Shaq went even further, admitting that he once doubted Clark because of his loyalty to LSU and his connection to Reese. He said he often expected Clark to miss difficult shots, but she kept proving him wrong again and again. Eventually, he came to a simple conclusion: if someone keeps hitting shots you believe are impossible, they're the real deal. This wasn't a hot take designed for attention. It was coming from a 4-time NBA champion, 3-time Finals MVP, and one of basketball's most recognizable legends. When someone with that level of credibility publicly declares that a young player is doing things never seen before, the impact is undeniable. The internet quickly reacted, with fans flooding comment sections and pointing out that Shaq had given Clark praise while appearing on Reese's own show. Some even joked that Clark's name seemed to come up on nearly every episode, whether she was the main topic or not. Beneath the humor, however, there was a deeper shift taking place. When a respected figure like Shaq openly changes his stance and acknowledges greatness, it signals something bigger than hype. It's recognition of history unfolding in real time. Meanwhile, Stephen A. Smith also spoke openly about the treatment Clark was receiving, urging the league to protect one of its most important stars. He compared her situation to how the NBA once had to adjust to the rise of Michael Jordan, arguing that Clark's influence on ratings, attendance, and revenue meant the WNBA had a responsibility to ensure she wasn't consistently targeted physically. Conversations surrounding Clark had clearly evolved. It was no longer about whether she belonged at the professional level, but about how far she could elevate the league, and many legends believed the limit was entirely up to her. Talent may open doors, but relentless work sustains success, and this is the quieter side of Caitlin Clark's story. Her transition to the WNBA was far from smooth. She faced a demanding schedule early in her rookie season, dealing with physical defenses, elite competition, and an unprecedented level of media attention. Her team struggled early, starting slowly while Clark endured growing pains that included turnovers and low-scoring performances. Critics quickly seized on those moments, claiming the hype had been exaggerated and questioning whether her college dominance would translate to the professional level. Clark responded the only way she knew how, by continuing to work. She adjusted her game in real time, learning how to read professional defenses, improving her chemistry with teammates, and refining her decision-making. When the Olympic break arrived, a controversial period after she was left off Team USA, she used the time to regroup and improve. When she returned, her performance reached another level, leading her team to a strong run and helping spark their first extended winning streak in years. Her efficiency improved, her decision-making sharpened, and her overall impact became even more pronounced. By the second half of the season, Clark had transformed from reacting to defenses into controlling them. She dictated tempo, elevated her teammates, and guided the offense with confidence beyond her years. Players like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston benefited from her playmaking, and the entire team began playing with greater confidence under her leadership. That growth reflected more than natural talent. It showed dedication, film study, and an intense competitive drive. The results followed, as the team improved dramatically and secured a playoff spot after struggling the previous season. Clark finished her rookie campaign with outstanding all-around numbers, shooting efficiently while contributing as both a scorer and playmaker. She earned Rookie of the Year honors with near-unanimous voting and secured a place on the All-WNBA first team, becoming the first rookie to achieve that milestone since Candace Parker in 2008. Her season wasn't just about talent, it was about talent combined with relentless effort, resilience, and the determination to turn early challenges into a historic debut. An elite work ethic that refuses to leave anything on the table has fueled Caitlin Clark's rise, and her impact extends far beyond the court. When it comes to marketability, the numbers surrounding Clark are just as remarkable as her on-court achievements. She signed an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike, the richest sponsorship contract in the history of women's basketball. Her endorsement portfolio quickly expanded to include Wilson, State Farm, Gatorade, and a growing list of major brands eager to align with her influence. She appeared on Saturday Night Live, was widely projected as the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, and earned major honors from Time magazine as Athlete of the Year, while the Associated Press named her Female Athlete of the Year. Yet those individual accomplishments only scratch the surface of her broader impact. The real story lies in what Clark has done for the entire league. An economist from Indiana University estimated that Caitlin Clark accounted for 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity during her rookie season, more than a quarter of the league's total revenue through ticket sales, merchandise, and television deals linked to a single player. Her projected long-term economic impact has even approached billion-dollar territory. The Indiana Fever experienced a dramatic attendance surge, jumping from roughly 4,000 fans per game in 2023 to more than 17,000 in 2024, setting a WNBA record. Remarkably, they drew more fans per home game than the Indiana Pacers, the NBA team that shares their arena. League-wide attendance also soared, with games featuring Clark drawing more than double the crowds compared to games without her, while road attendance increased significantly whenever the Fever visited opposing cities. Several teams, including Washington, Atlanta, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles, moved their matchups against Indiana to larger NBA arenas to accommodate overwhelming demand. The Las Vegas Aces even relocated a regular season game to T-Mobile Arena and sold more tickets for that single matchup than they had for the opening games of the previous WNBA Finals combined. Television ratings followed the same trend, with multiple networks recording their most-watched WNBA games during Clark's rookie season. Broadcast viewership surged dramatically, and the 2024 WNBA draft drew record numbers, reflecting the growing national interest surrounding her arrival. Sellouts became common across the league, arenas filled to near capacity, and merchandise sales skyrocketed by 500%, a massive leap that highlighted the scale of her influence. Perhaps the most telling statistic came from television viewership. Of the 24 WNBA broadcasts that reached at least 1 million viewers in 2024, 21 featured Caitlin Clark. This is what analysts describe as the Caitlin Clark effect, not just a catchy phrase but a measurable economic transformation. She didn't only elevate the Indiana Fever, she boosted the entire league, bringing in millions of new viewers who had never tuned into a WNBA game before. Despite this enormous impact, Clark's rookie salary was modest compared to her value, underscoring how much her presence reshaped the financial landscape. The league's collective bargaining discussions were influenced by the revenue growth tied to her arrival, and expectations are that future agreements will lead to higher salaries for players across the board. Clark's success isn't just elevating her own career, it's strengthening the entire league. Beyond the numbers, Clark's influence represents a turning point in women's basketball. There is a clear distinction between the era before her arrival and the one unfolding now. Before Clark, the WNBA featured extraordinary talents like Aya Wilson, Breanna Stewart, Candace Parker, and Diana Taurasi, players who dominated the sport for years but rarely received the level of mainstream attention Clark generated almost immediately. Her presence has accelerated interest, increased visibility, and shifted the conversation around women's basketball into a new era, one where the sport commands greater attention, larger audiences, and unprecedented growth. Before Caitlin Clark's arrival, many arenas across the league were often half-empty, television deals were limited, and the gap between the WNBA and the NBA in terms of visibility and revenue felt nearly impossible to close. Clark didn't eliminate that gap on her own, but she forced the door open in a way that permanently changed the conversation. She demonstrated that women's basketball, when centered around a truly transcendent talent, can command mainstream sports attention. Fans began showing up in record numbers, tuning in from across the country, buying jerseys, and filling 20,000-seat arenas. She gave audiences a compelling reason to watch, and they responded. The ripple effects extended far beyond a single season. Young athletes across the country began watching Clark pull up from deep range and imagining themselves doing the same. They saw her deliver creative no-look passes and fell in love with the game, much like previous generations were inspired by Stephen Curry, Magic Johnson, and LeBron James. Even after Clark moved on, the momentum she created continued. Iowa's women's basketball program sold out season tickets the following year, proving that the excitement she generated wasn't temporary. That level of sustained interest signaled more than fandom. It reflected a cultural shift in how people view women's sports. The Indiana Fever also began investing in the future, planning a $78 million practice facility dedicated entirely to the women's team, a move driven largely by the increased attention and revenue Clark helped generate. Indianapolis experienced tourism boosts during Fever Game weekends, with Visit Indy reporting a dramatic surge in traffic to pages related to the team after Clark was drafted. These developments highlighted what a transformational player truly looks like. Someone who not only produces on the court but also fills arenas, drives revenue, increases visibility, and inspires the next generation of athletes. Clark's rookie season achievements further reinforced her impact. She finished fourth in MVP voting, earned an All-Star selection, and was named to the All-WNBA first team. Her playoff performance placed her in rare company, becoming the first rookie since Michael Jordan to post comparable all-around averages in a postseason series. For a 22-year-old in her first professional season, the comparison alone spoke volumes about her potential. Perhaps the most intriguing part for the rest of the league is that Clark is still evolving. As her learning curve flattens and experience grows, the question shifts from what she has already accomplished to what lies ahead in the coming years. Clark has already rewritten expectations, shattered records, and left analysts, fans, and legends wondering what comes next. Defenses continue to adjust, records continue to fall, and the league is racing to keep up with her influence. Yet despite all the highlights and milestones, the most compelling part of her story is still unfolding. How far can she push the game? How much higher can women's basketball rise as her career progresses? One thing is certain, this is only the beginning.